Dremel's spelt like that, not with an I, people. What's up guys, Mr. Turbo 458 here with a little update on the Yamaha Warrior 350 engine that I'm rebuilding. I did find out what this engine is going to go into, and you should find out next week, hopefully around Wednesday I'm thinking. So we're going to show you what I got done on the head for this engine and kind of how I did some stuff and why. Part of what I wanted to do with this engine is soup it up a little bit, if you will. I did port out the intake and exhaust ports a little bit. I didn't go crazy with it. Now the exhaust side was incredibly restrictive, and you probably can't see much because I don't have a light, but right in here it was more of a D-shaped port. Now a lot of people say that that's okay and that's good and you want that, but it was such a tall hump right here that you couldn't even really fit your finger in through there. So I opened that up quite a bit, and then I also kind of just blended it in all the way around there. So you can kind of see right here too, I opened this up. I'm not a master at porting by any means, but opening it up just a little bit I'm sure will help it breathe slightly better. Hopefully it doesn't reverse and make the performance worse. And before all of you get all up in arms, yes, the intake side is polished just a little bit, but I did leave it rough because I have been reading online that you want, for a carbureted engine, you want at least, I think they were saying 400 grit is the minimum that you'd want to go. This is slightly smoother than that probably, but there are imperfections in it, so I think we'll be fine. If not, I don't think it'll cause that big of an issue, but if you know, let me know. If not, it's already ported, so I don't really care, and I'm not taking the head apart to rough up that port, so whatever. Anyway, I also installed the new valves, which you can see here. They are scratched up. I didn't clean this carbon up in here. It's gonna get carbonized instantly again, so I figured why. I did use this tool from Advanced Auto Parts, and it worked fine except for on the top of the head here. Right here you can see it's kind of dinged up, and that's from the actual fork here that grabs the valve spring retainer. So what I ended up doing was I cut this piece of steel. It's probably a 1-inch piece of tubing, I don't know, 65 thousandths wall, and that fits on top of the valve retainer, and it's got the groove so I can put the half moon clips in to retain the valve springs. We did lap the valves in place before assembling all of this. It's really hard to find valve lapping compound these days. The best I could do was this stuff at the auto parts store, and it says to start with 120 grit, and then it says finish with 220 grit, but this does not have a grit specified, so that's kind of stupid, but whatever. So we used our suction cup tool to make sure that the valves were making full contact with the seats. The seats looked okay. They didn't seem like they needed recut, so we didn't do that. I did get the new rockers in, and the new rocker pins, which go in here. That was kind of a challenge. They're actually offset, so there's a spring clip on this one that's on this side to push the rocker that way, and the other side is opposite, so I had a little bit of trouble with that. Now one thing I've noticed is they're not super loose, but this one moves a lot easier than this one. This one's a little more sticky. And I think part of it is I forgot to lube up the pin before I pressed it in there. The rocker arms, the new one actually has more holes in it for lubrication. I doubt you can see it. Maybe you can see it right there on the right. It actually has 3 holes for lubrication, opposed to the 1 hole of lubrication on the stock rockers. So that could be an advantage, but we're going to make sure that that gets enough oil. Maybe I'll pull it back out and check it, maybe polish the pin up a little bit, but Honestly, it should be okay. I also got all the valves and everything off of Amazon, by the way. The valve kit and the it came with all new valve seals, everything like that. Another thing I got was this cam. This is a stage 1 cam, also off of Amazon for $55. Now the Hot Cams brand is about $150, and this one has the same grind profile and duration, everything like that, lift. It's the same exact thing as the Hot Cams, supposedly. Now I did compare this to the stock cam, and you can see the lobe is a lot wider here, so the duration is longer. And I used this here granite table to set this on V-blocks, and I did in fact verify that this is a higher lift cam. I couldn't tell you how much higher it is without looking at the specs, but it is a higher lift, longer duration cam. So that's pretty exciting. However, I cannot install it because the outer cam bearing, which goes right here, is bad, so I have to order another one of those. Of course, they don't stock them locally. Why would they? That'd be too easy. Another thing I did, which a lot of people are gonna poo-poo around about, like, oh, you shouldn't have done that because of X, Y, and Z. I resurfaced the head. I'm not sure how to put this in the mill. I probably could have slapped it in that Bridgeport over there and fly cut it. It looks pretty flat with a straight edge and everything. So all I did was I took this, took some sandpaper, this is 400 grit, and laid it. I'm working on a giant granite slab here, and this is a super flat surface to work on. If any of you know about layout tables or layout granite, this is one of those tables. So I just put the sandpaper down and just kind of tried to do the best figure eight I could on this, and you can kind of see there's some nice crosshatch detail on it, and it cleaned the head up nicely. There's not really any low spots that I could see, so just did a quick cleanup on that just to get everything, get all the carbon off of it and stuff. So that's what we did there. So really, once I get the cam bearing, I can put the cam in, and then I can start putting this back on the engine, which I will definitely film that process. So there you have it. That's what we're doing with the Warrior engine currently. I do have some parts coming in, so hopefully that will be exciting later on, and I will definitely share that with you as well. That's going on the next super awesome project. Also, sorry I haven't put a video up recently. I've been out of town. I've also got some other stuff that I wanted to show you that I'll just kind of work into other videos, but aside from that, that's about all I've got for you on this video. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.